Hi guys, welcome to Multiverse. Today we're going to take a look at how to create the Batman. I'm not going to go through every variations or every incarnations of the character. I'm just going to go to the basics. So let's get started. First, you make an acrobat. Then you give it a whole bunch of gadgets, and there you go. You've created the Batman. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. If you liked the video, click the like button. Okay, sorry, I was just kidding. Let's get started for reals this time. So obviously, to get started, you need the bat call. There's actually two variations. There's the Dark Knight call, I should say. There's the Dark Knight call and the Dark Knight helm. As you can see, the Dark Knight helm doesn't cover the neck. So depending on the chest piece you're using, you may want to use the helm or the call. Again, it all depends on what you're actually using. Like you could decide to use the helm if for some reason you would want, let's say, the chest piece to be kind of like where is it? Like this. Like with this, if you were using this color scheme, yeah, you wouldn't really need the call, but it comes together. Like the call and the helm comes from the same package. So if you buy one, you buy the other by default. And of course, you need the Batman emblem from Batman v Superman. I gave quite a few alternatives for what to use as a Batman emblem if for some reason you don't have the Batman v Superman emblem. I made a video about that. I'll put a link at the end of this video to that other video. One thing that I've used for a long time was the circled wings. It also allowed me to mimic sort of the yellow oval Batman look, sort of. But obviously, it's not as good as using the actual Batman emblem. For the chest piece, there's a whole bunch of slimline chest piece we could use. But personally, I prefer to go with the Stalwart Defender for one reason alone. The emblem is bigger. If we could have a big emblem like that on a slimline piece of gear, that's what I would be using because I'm not too happy about the lines, all the useless lines that we have on the Stalwart Defender chest. But it works well enough, and it's pretty much the only way we can get a really nice big Batman emblem. There might be another style that gives that effect, but I can't think of it right now. For the gloves, I would be tempted to go with the what's it called? I would be tempted to go with the fin glove if I was going for the more classic version of the character. Although the fin glove only have like two spikes as opposed to three, as the official Batman glove should actually have. But I chose instead to go with the Daring Vigilante gloves. I think it's sleeker and it fits a bit better with the style. And where to get the Daring Vigilante glove and the Stalwart Defender chest? Sadly, you have no choice but to buy it from the broker. Technically, you should be able to get them from Prometheum lockboxes, but the item you get, the styles you get from Prometheum lockboxes are random. So the odds of getting the actual Stalwart Defender chest or the Daring Vigilante gloves from those boxes, the odds are very, very slim. So you may as well just bite the bullet and buy it from the broker. Just go to the broker as often as you can, and you should be able to see them on the broker for fairly cheap. Yeah, sometimes the items will be a bit more expensive for various reasons, but if you shop on the broker often enough, at some point you will see a good deal and you will be able to find them to buy them for fairly cheap. By fairly cheap, I mean like maybe 1 or 2 millions for the chest piece. For the gloves, it's been so long, I have no idea how much they're worth right now, but they're not worth that much. The gloves, you should be able to get them from 500,000, maybe 1 million at most, if you shop around. For the waist, the better option is the simple utility belt. There's a few utility belts that probably could be used, but this is the one I've settled with. I guess there is also the DC Bombshell Harley belt that could do the trick, and it has a nice Batman emblem. But if you're going for the actual Batman look, the simple utility belt is what I would suggest. For the boots, the tall classic boots is pretty much as close to the classic Batman boots as we have, until they actually come up with some official Batman boots. This is what I would go for. And for the pants, the new Genesis pants. I'm the kind of guy who will want to reproduce the look with the underwear on the outside, as people would say. If you don't want that, you could go with the Stalwart Defender the Stalwart Defender legs, which I don't seem to have. Or any slimline would probably do the trick. But again, personally, I go with the new Genesis pants and the black short look. The reason for that is quite simple. It breaks the gray of the long underwear look. Because without, ironically, I see a lot of people complain about the underwear on the outside. But if you actually don't have that, you pretty much turn the suit and do a big long, what's it called, a long john or long underwears. So if you don't have the underwear on the outside, you actually turn the whole suit into a big long underwear. So it's a bit ironic when I see people complain about the underwear on the outside. And for the back piece, the Batwoman back piece does the trick. I would strongly suggest that you buy it from the broker because yes, you can farm for the Batwoman cape, but it is a rare drop. So you're gonna have to farm it over and over and over before you actually, unless you're really lucky, you're gonna have to farm it for quite a long time. Another option is the Batgirl cape, also known as the Daring Vigilante. Depending on where you look, sometimes the name is Daring Vigilante, sometimes the name is the Batgirl cape. I think on the broker it's labeled as the Batgirl cape. So again, you should probably buy it from the broker as well. Again, there is there is a chance that you could get that cape from the Prometheum log boxes, but the odds are so slim that just buy it from the broker. You'll save yourselves a lot of the troubles. So that's how we can create the look of the Batman. Now let's look at the powers that you can use to recreate your friend the Batman. Obviously, you're probably going to want to go with gadget powers, although in the end you probably could use any powers if you decide to focus on acrobatic powers. Now let's take a quick look. For the acrobatic powers, personally I don't go with all of them. I usually only take rocket assisted glide. I'll take the forward flip attack, the back flip attack, the launching roll, and of course you take all the resistance and recovery. The grappling line attack, there's a better version in the gadget powers. I will show it to you in a bit. The zip tie attack could be an option, but I rarely use it. The throwing knives, I use the batarangs, which pretty much does the same trick. The devastating flip, not a bad ability itself. The fact that it's a supercharge makes it pretty pointless in my book. And perfect poise, never really used it, so I guess I could add it to the character. And the iconics, what I use actually is the Batarang multi-shot. Obviously, it's an iconic Batman attack or ability, so that's why I don't go with the throwing knives. It ends up pretty much doing the same thing, and actually the batarang actually has some power interactions that the knives don't have. So for the loadout of the character, what I usually go with would be back flip attack, forward flip attack. I have an aesthetic as a healing ability. I'll go with stealth, launching roll, and the batarang multi-shot. And for the stealth loadout, you can add some abilities that you don't have on your normal loadout. So it gives you extra abilities to use if you want to. Although you have to time it with your stealth ability, but it shouldn't be an issue most of the time. There's paralyzing darts. There's a gauss grenade. There's the battle drone that you can have. The thermite mine and the taser pull. For the weapon, obviously martial arts would probably be the option. Although you could probably make a case to go with the brawling if you wanted to. So basically, let's go through all the attacks. So there's a the forward flip attack, and there's the back flip attack. There's the launching roll. Well, let's pull back a bit. there's the batarangs. And then if you go into stealth mode, then you can use your taser pull. The reason why I mentioned to use the taser pull as opposed to the grapple line attack is that the taser pull has a few power interactions, and also it electrifies your enemy. So it gives it power interactions so that it electrifies enemy and makes them vulnerable to electric effects. It dazes enemy. Dazed enemy takes additional damage. Frostbitten enemies take additional damage. So you could decide to your batarang dazes enemy. So you could, if you use your batarang and then afterwards you decide to use your taser pull, you would do a bit of extra damage. So you'll notice that I don't really use gadget abilities in my main loadout. So you could make an ice-powered Batman character and still create the very same character. The only exception would probably be the supercharge. I won't go through all the variations of how to make Batman because basically I'll probably make a follow-up video at some point. I'll probably make a video about maybe the classic Batman from the 70s, or the Kingdom Come Batman, or maybe a video with a whole bunch of Elseworld Batman. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. So let's go and fight some actual opponents. It'll give us a better idea of what the various abilities actually do, as opposed to just using the combat dummies, which sometimes aren't really a good representation. Oh, and we got a Prometheum lockbox. We'll give it a look in a second. So you can see the batarangs will stun. Usually they'll stun a whole bunch of enemies that are in front of your character. Now I wanted to show you launching roll, but next time. Here's one. Launching roll usually will send your enemy flying in the air like that. The forward flip attack just brings you closer to your enemy. And then the back flip, usually, well, the back flip should send them flying in the air. It doesn't seem to do it, sadly. I guess you have to take the supercharge that is similar to the backflip attack nowadays to be able to do that. But we still have the launching roll, which if we need to, that kind of does the trick. Let's go fight a boss. It'll give us a better idea of what we can do. And then also there's the stealth ability that you can use, and then you can use your grappling. Oh, it didn't go where I wanted it to go. So ideally you can see the launching roll would send your enemy flying in the air. And you see the Batarang acts somewhat as an ability that, not stun, but that pretty much stops opponents from attacking you. Basically they're busy trying to get rid of the Batarangs that you have on them. Well, let's try with one more. So again, you can go into stealth, use your taser pull, and pull the enemy towards you. Also, the backflip attack kind of helps if you need to put some distance between you and your opponent. And of course, the acrobat gliding ability that allows you to glide from one place to the other. So that's pretty much it for now, guys. If you liked the video, click the like button or the shared button, or even better, subscribe. And also there's that little bell that you can click that will warn you whenever there's a new video. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.